Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we can start. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. We will be today reading from chapter 1, verse number 46. And also welcome to all the devotees who might have joined on YouTube and Facebook. So we'll start with Jai Radha Madhav, and then we'll start with first chapter, verse number 46.
Prabhu,
Okay.
if you can make your name to initiated name, spiritual name.
Sorry, I'll do it. Yes, indeed. That's why you need always mentors to guide you.
I'm not a mentor. It's a minor point.
So, okay. Jaya Radha Madhav Kunja Vihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Jaya Radha Madhav Vihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Jai Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Jai Shri Radhe Jaya Mahaprabhu 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 Jaya Mahaprabhu Jaya Mahaprabhu 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 Jaya Mahaprabhu Jaya Narsimhadev 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 Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev 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 Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jayo Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nittai Gaura Hari Bol Nittai Gaura Anandi Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much again for joining Wednesday evening Bhagavad Gita class. Today we are reading from chapter 1, verse number 46. And the topic is from unsteady emotions to steady devotion. So we will go to chapter 1, verse number 46. Sanjay Uvacha. We can't have all in response. Okay, I'll read it 3 times and then we can just do the translation and purport. And then after that, we'll have Mangala Charan, which is auspicious prayers that brings auspiciousness. And then we'll start our monologue or discussion, however it goes. Sanjay Uvacha. Evam Uktvarjuna Sankhye Rathopastha Upavishat Visrijya Sasharam Chapam Shoka Samvigna Manasa. Sanjaya Uvacha. Evam Uktvarjuna Sankhye Rathopastha Upavishat Visrijya Sasharam Chapam Shoka Samvigna Manasa. Sanjaya Uvacha. Evam Uktvarjuna Sankhye Rathopastha Upavishat Visrijya Sasharam Chapam Shoka Samvigna Manasa. Translation. Sanjay said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Purport. While observing the situation, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. While observing the situation of his enemy. So now Arjuna is basically, it's the last verse of the chapter. And we are picking up this chapter because right now we are doing chat from 28th, I suppose, till 46. So that's why I just picked up this verse. While observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot, but he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again, setting aside his bow and arrows. Such a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self-knowledge. Right? The topic here is mentioned, kind and soft-hearted person. We'll discuss on that, soft-hearted person. Okay? And he's afflicted with lamentation. So today's entire discussion will be on afflicted with lamentation, basically, which is kind of an emotion, and kind and soft-hearted person. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport to the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Okay. So can we go to the Mangalacharan prayers now?
Yes, just a minute.
And if anyone wants to just in between also share any of their reflections, feel free to interrupt and yeah. Okay. We can do the Mangalacharan prayers now. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaste Saraswati Gaurvani Kacharine Nirvishe Shunyavadi Paschagate Shutarini. Hare Krishna. I'm so grateful that I got a chance to speak something on the glories of Bhagavad Gita and obviously Srimad Bhagavatam as well. All the scriptures are so much connected. Whatever we learn, the philosophy in Bhagavad Gita, we see the process of practice in Srimad Bhagavatam. I was a little late today to join. Actually, I was discussing about today's session with Rajivan Prabhu. He's like a Sanskrit scholar. So I was just discussing with him about certain points. And then I realized it was already 7 o'clock. So just then joined. Today, we'll be discussing on a very beautiful topic from Madhurya Kandabini. I was just reading this book and I couldn't hold myself and I just thought I'll discuss this today. And 1.46 was very apt based on the purport that Srila Prabhupada shares. Actually, Bhagavad Gita is amazing. Bhagavad Gita is teaching us how we can have many perspectives about the same subject. Like he said that small minds discuss people, right? You will see two people talking about what that other person is doing. Oh, this person is doing like that, this person doing like that, right? Small minds discuss people. Average minds discuss events. You will see people will be talking about what happened in the football match, what happened in the soccer match, right? Or what happened in some other event, right? But it is said that the great minds, they discuss wisdom. Great minds discuss spirituality. Great minds discuss knowledge. And interestingly, in Bhagavad Gita, exactly same thing happens. The first chapter starts with only one verse by Dhritarashtra, but in that one verse, he's talking about two things, about people and about events. He's saying Dhritarashtra Uvacha, Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre, Samaveta Yuyutsava, Mamaka Pandavashava, about people, Mamaka, what my sons were doing, and Pandavas. Mamaka Pandavashava, what other Pandu's sons were doing. Kimakruta Sanjay, what they were doing. So events. They came in the middle of the battlefield. So two things, events. He's discussing about events and he's discussing about people. So Dhritarashtra had a lower consciousness. He was discussing about people, he was talking about events. But Arjuna, on the other hand, he was discussing about wisdom, right? In the second chapter, he's saying that, Krishna, I'm confused. You tell me, what should I do? Why should I fight? Dhritarashtra is asking, what should I do? Or what they are doing. But Arjuna is asking, why should I do? Why should I fight? What is the fight for? He sort of understands that. How is the fight supposed to be done? Obviously, he has a lot of skills. But why should he fight? Right? That is where the problem is. And that is where the wisdom comes from. So we see that Dhritarashtra had a lower consciousness compared to Arjuna, who had a higher consciousness. That is why he was asking the right questions in the second chapter. Right? Obviously, in the first chapter, he was having his own troubles. And obviously, we understand that Krishna is actually putting him in that situation. So we see that how same thing can be seen with different perspectives. Like once there was a husband and wife. They were just going somewhere and they saw another husband and wife in the car. And as soon as they parked their car, that husband and wife, they parked their car. There were two couples. So one couple was seeing and the other couple was actually seeing the other couple, basically. One couple was seeing the other couple. So husband and wife seeing the other couple. So what they saw is that as soon as they parked their car, the husband came out of the car on the other side and tried to open the door for his wife so that his wife can get down. So this couple was witnessing this, how that husband came out of his, driving seat, came to the passenger seat and tried to help the wife to come out. So seeing that entire incident, the wife told to husband that looks like the marriage is new. So wife told the husband, looks like the marriage is new. The husband saw and said, no, looks like the car is new. So both are seeing the exact same thing, but both are having a different perspective, right? Similarly, once Srila Prabhupada, he was just driving. I mean, he was in the back seat. He was in the car and he saw a billboard. It was mentioned temporary inconvenience, permanent improvements. Temporary inconvenience and permanent improvements, because there was some road works going on. So road work was going on, and it was mentioned that this temporary inconvenience is that, but permanent improvements. And Shiva looked at it and said that material world, temporary improvements, but permanent inconvenience, right? So they are trying to fix the road, but actually this material world itself, which is road is part of that material world itself, that is, we might do some temporary improvements, but finally it will be permanent inconvenience. We will just think that, okay, this is good, we should just stay here. So like that, we see that how Bhagavad Gita is so amazing, that it is teaching different levels of perspectives one can have, and how we can have the perspective of like that of an Arjuna. It is said that Ganges water came through the toes of Vishnu, right? So one who takes the bath in Ganges, one can reach the source of that Ganges, which is the lotus feet of Vishnu. Similarly, the words coming out of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is also like Ganges. So one who takes bath in the words of Bhagavad Gita, in the verses of Bhagavad Gita, he goes to the source of that Ganges, which is the lotus face of Krishna. And that is why we see that so many people all over the world, maybe among various universes also, they read this Bhagavad Gita, which was spoken by Krishna, heard by Arjuna. But interestingly, in this first chapter, Arjuna is in a big dilemma, right? So can we go to that verse again, 1.46? Ashray Madhav Prabhu. Yes, we can go to that verse again. Yeah, so in this verse, if you see, it is mentioned that Srila Prabhupada is mentioning very important thing. He's saying such a kind and soft-hearted person, right? He's saying that such a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive the knowledge. So Arjuna spoke something. Based on that, Srila Prabhupada is saying that such a kind and soft-hearted person. Okay. So after this, Arjuna is not speaking in 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. Okay. But see, the tone is now changing. Krishna is saying something else now to the same thing. Arjuna is keeping down he's putting his bow down. And Srila Prabhupada is saying such a soft-hearted person is fit to receive the knowledge, right? But see, Prabhu, can you go to 2.1? Actually, 2.2 we can go. You can do next. Yeah, we can go. Maybe leave it. Here only is saying, see, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now Krishna is saying, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. So Srila Prabhupada in the purport is saying, soft-hearted person is fit to receive the knowledge, right? Based on that verse. But Krishna, he's seeing that this is impurities. They lead not to higher planets but to infamy, because he knows that now this is soft-hearted person, but that soft-hearted person will lead to weak-hearted person soon. Weak-hearted means he's not understanding that why he wants to fight, right? So that weakness of heart is coming, that soft-heartedness is there, but soft-heartedness will lead to soon to weak-heartedness. We can see in the third verse, O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of enemy. So here is saying that this is weakness of heart. So can we go down more in the 7th verse? So here also is saying, now I am confused about my duty and I have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. So again, weakness of heart is there. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. So we see that there are different levels of, you can say, nature of heart. There is soft-heartedness, there is weak-heartedness, there is hard-heartedness, and there is strong-heartedness. Krishna is telling Arjuna grow from soft-heartedness to weak-heartedness to strong-heartedness. Understand what is right and wrong. He should be able to distinguish between what is right and what is wrong. Hard-heartedness is, you can think someone who is not at all empathic, not doesn't understand that how much pain it might cause to others. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see the example of Draupadi. Draupadi was soft-heartedness. After that entire incident, if you see, still Draupadi is telling that leave them. It's okay. It happens. Leave them. I don't want. When Ashwathama releases the Brahmastra, before that he kills the sons of Draupadi, and Draupadi gets really angry, and Draupadi says, "I want them. I want Ashwathama." But when Ashwathama comes in front, first of all she realizes he's a Brahmana, and then she says, "What I have gone through, I don't want Ashwathama's mother also to go through that." So we see that soft-heartedness, right? And then obviously Ashwathama is showing hard-heartedness. He doesn't realize what he's getting into. Even Duryodhan says that, "What have you done? This will bring infamy to me also." Right? And then we see strong-heartedness in terms of Jada Bharat. Jada Bharat, when we see Bharat Maharaj was soft-hearted. He had so much love for deer. He became so much dear to the deer that he forgot the deer most, which is Krishna. Right? So he became so dear to the deer, he forgot the deer most. But then when he came from that soft-heartedness to weak-heartedness, where at the end he was just thinking about that deer only. But then when he became that Jada Bharat, he was strong-hearted. He understood that, I screwed up already once. I should understand that I should not succumb to this mistake again. So you can go to that purport. Shilpa very nicely writes. It is in 1743. It is in the story of Draupadi. So can we go to Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, verse number 43. Yeah, we'll be jumping today to many verses, but 1743. So here, you see, kaman kamayate kamyer yad artham yapurusha savai dehastu parakyo bhanguro yatyupaiticha. Translation: a living entity desires comfort for his body. 1 minute. 1743. Achyatama. Uvacha chasat nitesya bandhana nayanam sati mucchitamesha brahmano nitaram guru. So guru brahmano. She could not tolerate Ashwathama's being bound by ropes. This is Draupadi saying, right? We're talking about soft-heartedness. And being a devoted lady, she said, release him, for he is a Brahmana, our spiritual master. Right? Can we go to the purport? As soon as Ashwathama was brought before Draupadi, she thought it intolerable that a Brahmana should be arrested like a culprit and brought before her in that condition, especially when a Brahmana happened to be a teacher's son. Arjuna arrested Ashwathama, knowing perfectly well that he was the son of Dronacharya. Krishna also knew to be so, but both of them condemned the murderer without consideration of his being the son of Brahmana. According to revealed scriptures, a teacher or spiritual master is liable to be rejected if he proves himself unworthy of the position of the guru or spiritual master. Right? A guru is called an acharya. And then we see down, so we'll go to the next line. Ashwathama failed to discharge the duties of a Brahmana or teacher, and therefore he was liable to be rejected from the exalted position of Brahmana. On this consideration, both Lord Shri Krishna and Arjuna were right in condemning Ashwathama, but right, soft-heartedness of nature of Draupadi. Right? That's the nature of devotee. The matter was considered not from the angle of Shastric vision, but as a matter of custom. By custom, Ashwathama was offered the same respect as offered to his father. It was so because generally the people accept the son of a Brahmana as a real Brahmana by sentiment only. Actually, the matter is different. A Brahmana is accepted on the merit of qualification, not on the merit of simply being the son of Brahmana. And then Srila Prabhupada went on to say that basically Draupadi has a good nature, basically a soft-hearted person. So we see an example of soft-hearted person that is in Draupadi. We also see in Bharat Maharaj when he was trying to help deer. Nothing wrong in that, right? We see in Arjuna also when he's saying that I don't want to get into violence. People think that non-violence is the right thing to do, correct? But we slowly see if the soft-heartedness is not applied in the right way, it can lead to weak-heartedness. And we see that in the story of Bharat Maharaj again, when he became too dear to the deer. We see Arjuna, where Krishna is saying that this is not soft-heartedness, actually this weak-heartedness. How come this kind of impurity is coming into you, right? And then finally we see soft-heartedness, strong-heartedness. We see in the Jada Bharat case, where he understood that he should not do the blunder again, but he was very, very focused. He understood what right and wrong he should do. The discrimination power he got. And then finally we see hard-heartedness in terms of Ashwatthama, where he doesn't have the empathy, doesn't have the sympathy, doesn't understand what the other person will go through, the pain other person will go through. Right? So this is the point that Srila Prabhupada, and that is why it is important in Bhagavad Gita. It is not, one devotee was mentioned, it is not important who is right. If you see, one may say that, oh, Srila Prabhupada in purport is saying like this, but Krishna is saying like that. It is not important who is right. It is important what is right. Same thing can be seen at different levels. Same thing can be seen at different levels. At one level, yes, Arjuna was a soft-hearted person, but at the other level, he didn't want to fight. And that was his weak-heartedness. So in scriptures, what is more important? What is right for me? What is right for me? Rather than who is right. That really doesn't matter so much. And we see that in Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a section in Chitraketu and Parvati. There is a section where Srila Prabhupada is at one level is saying that Chitraketu is correct, but then he's saying that actually Parvati is also correct, right? So we see that what is right for me, what is the what a devotee should do at certain situations. That actually is more important for us. So yeah, that is the first part of today's session, and the second part is. Prabhu, can we go to that verse again? 1.46. So the reason I picked that topic from unsteady, so now I'll be discussing unsteady emotion to steady devotion. Right? Here we see Arjuna is afflicted with lamentation. Lamentation is a form of emotion, and that emotion is not steady. Why it is not steady? Arjuna is not able to make a fixed decision. At one level, he says, maybe I should renounce, I should give up, I should leave the battlefield. Rather, I beg. Then he's saying, oh no, wait. Maybe you know what? Rather than renounce, I should get killed unarmed. Maybe, better I get killed unarmed. That is better. So conflicting. At the same time, he thinks that, these are atata in us. This Duryodhana and all, these are atata in us. So I should fight with them. So he's confused. And that is why in 7th verse, he's saying, Karpane dosho pahata swabhav. So there is mixed emotions, there is unsteady emotions. He's not able to make up his mind what is right for him. In Ishopanishad, in the introduction, Srila Prabhupada explains that there are 3 levels by which we can gain knowledge. The 3 levels. First is Pratyaksha Praman. Pratyaksha Praman means you see something, and based on that seeing, you gain knowledge. And today's world is sort of more on that Pratyaksha Praman. They see, oh, I can see something, so I will believe. Second level is Anuman. Anuman means you do some speculation. Oh, maybe it is like that. Oh, maybe it is like that. Some guesswork. But that, and third is Shabda. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is showing that first 2, Pratyaksha and Anuman, both are actually dangerous. He said to Krishna that please bring this chariot in the middle of the battlefield. I want to see both the armies. So he's seeing. He's saying that Bhishma, Drona, Pramukatha, right? Yotsemanam, they have come here to fight. In 28, around that verses, he's saying that please bring the chariot in the middle of the battlefield. Acyuta, please bring in the middle of the battlefield. Suneo Rubhar Madhya Ratham Sthape Mechuta. He's saying like that. So he's seeing both the armies, Pratyaksha, and based on that, Krishna is also amazing. He's bringing in the middle where Bhishma and Drona is standing to bring Arjuna more into illusion, sort of, right? So Pratyaksha, based on that, he's deriving some knowledge. And then Anuman, then he's speculating, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. So he's gaining more knowledge through that Anuman, through that guesswork. But then he's realizing both of these are very dangerous. He's not able to come to a conclusion. And then what is finally reaching to Shabda? He's trying to Arjuna, like to Krishna, you please guide me what I should do. Right? So Bhagavad Gita is actually teaching us that how Pratyaksha and Anuman both are not enough to gain knowledge, and both can commit to some mistakes. We can make some mistakes in that decision-making framework. But when we get into Shabda, when we hear from authority, when we hear from some spiritual teachers who have realized who have realized the knowledge, if we hear in disciple succession, then we can gain the knowledge in much better way. So that's why there is unsteady emotion that Arjuna, obviously, one thing before going ahead, we have to understand that Arjuna is a Nitya Siddha. He's a great devotee of the Lord. And we see that through 10th chapter, 11th chapter, at the end, Arjuna is saying that I've understood everything. Karishya Vachanam Tanu. So from unsteady emotion, where he's confused, to steady devotion, he's saying, you tell me, whatever you tell me, I will do that now. Right? But at the same time, we understand through various sections of Mahabharata that Arjuna actually is a great devotee of the Lord. But Arjuna was put in a situation where so that Krishna can get a chance to speak Bhagavad Gita. And why Arjuna? Obviously, because Arjuna was a great devotee of the Lord. And there is obviously many reasons. One of the reasons Acharyas explained that devotee, one of the sakhas of Krishna is Arjun Sakha. So when he sees Arjuna, he gets reminded of Vrindavan. He gets reminded of Vrindavan. So that is another reason. But anyways, so there are various reasons why Krishna spoke this. Imagine Arjuna, he's in the middle of the battlefield. It is the most important war of his life. He's not just going to affect himself. It's not just going to affect his relatives, brothers, not just going to affect his kingdom, not just going to affect his entire world, but also future generations. Such an important battle, and suddenly he flips. That mirage, that emotions, that ocean of emotions are coming, and he gets completely confused. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is mentioned our devotional life goes through various stages. It starts with Shraddha, that is, we have some faith. And then we take for Sadhu Sangha, we take some little bit association, and we develop faith. We see, right? When we have little faith, then we go to ISKCON temple. I want to know more about Krishna. And we then come across with some people. With Sadhu Sangha we get. Then we understand what is the process of Krishna consciousness. So next steps is Bhajana Kriya. And Vishnu Chakri Thakur explains that Bhajana Kriya, and obviously Rupa Goswami says that from Bhajana Kriya you go next to Anartha Nivritti. But in Madhurya Kadambini, Vishnu Chakri Thakur explains that Bhajana Kriya itself has many stages. There are 6 stages in Bhajana Kriya. And one has to understand at which stage they are in, so that they can advance in their future stages, or they can advance in their Krishna consciousness. So today, for next, whatever, we have 40 minutes or something, 40 minutes, 6 stages. So around 7 minutes per stage, something like that. We will be discussing about the 6 stages. You start from an unsteady emotion, like we see here, afflicted with lamentation, to a steady devotion, where one is able to say, Karishe Vachanam Tava. Krishna, you tell me what I have to do, and I will do that. So Vishnu Chakri Thakur explains that there are 6 stages in Bhajana Kriya, which is one of the stage which is explained by Rupa Goswami. And in that Bhajana Kriya, there are 2 sections, Anishtita Bhakti and Nishtha Bhakti. So Nishtita Bhakti, and Vishnu Chakri Thakur says that in unsteady devotional service, unsteady Bhajana Kriya, there are 6 stages. So we'll be now discussing the 6 stages. The first stage that Vishnu Chakri Thakur explains is Utsahamayi. Utsahamayi means exhibition of enthusiasm. Many devotees also call it pure devotee syndrome. So when we come to Krishna consciousness, first time when we come to Krishna consciousness, we become so enthusiastic. But that enthusiasm can also be an exhibition of enthusiasm, in the sense of we might start feeling that, I know everything. Oh, I can change my relatives now, easy. If they're not able to change, that means they're demons. We might think like that. Oh, friends, I can change them easily. Oh, maybe they are not able to understand the higher principles, stages of Krishna consciousness. So you start judging. Because that is at initial level, we might succumb to that. We might succumb to that entry enthusiasm. Vishnu Chakra tells it as Utsahamay, or we might also call it as exhibition of enthusiasm. And it is more like at a level of we are trying to show off, right? In today's world, we might call it like trying to show off something. So we might have developed some skills, but not necessarily we might have developed the character. right? Or the qualities of a devotee. We might have developed some skills. Maybe we might have started playing mridanga well, or maybe kartal well. So we might be trying to show, see, I've learned it. But it is more like that substance is not there, but we are thinking that substance, we are thinking that shadow to be a substance, but actually it's just a shadow. It is actually not Krishna consciousness. It is more like just showing that overconfidence or some like that. And we see that in the story of Shringi. Shringi becomes a Brahmana. Shringi obviously is a Brahmana because of Shamik Rishi in Parikshit Maharaj pastime. And he, when he comes to know that Parikshit Maharaj has put a dead snake on Shamik Rishi, so Shringi gets extremely angry. And there are some words that he speaks, which doesn't befit a Brahmana. So we see in the story of Shringi, Shringi has developed the skills of a Brahmana, but unfortunately he has not developed the character, the culture, the qualities of a Brahmana. So we'll go to Prabhu, verse number, first canto, 18th chapter, verse number 32, where we see that entry enthusiasm or enthusiasm, showing that exhibition of that enthusiasm, that you know something that you want to show. So Prabhu, can you Srimad Bhagavatam 1:18:32, and we can go to the advanced version because there are, I want to also go through that other verses also that goes below that. So we'll start from verse number 32, canto 1 and verse number 18. So by the time Prabhu is bringing 1:18:32 of Srimad Bhagavatam, so basically that is the point of Utsahamai, where you think that it's like it says that it's a saying, fake it till you make it, right? Fake it till you make it means you might be not getting the taste to chant, but you still sit and chant and try to develop that taste. So fake it till you make it, but don't fake it so much that you think you made it. So that was the situation of Shringi, right? He was a Brahmana, but he thought that now he has all the qualities also of Brahmana and he can decide who should be punished and who should not be punished. He took the law in his own hands, right? He took the law.
1:18:32, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. 1:18:32. Yes, Rajivan Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the nice points. I just wanted to ask, when you are saying fake it until make it, and then fake it before you made it, could you repeat that?
No. I meant, we say, right, sometimes that fake it till you make it. Basically, we say that you have not developed taste for Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
But you try to develop that taste. You try to read Srimad Bhagavatam and see wherever you can find that joy somewhere in devotional service. So we say that, I mean, it's in material world, we say that fake it till you make it. But don't fake it so much that you think you made it. Basically, don't try to find so much enthusiasm, which is fake, which is not completely there. And you feel that, oh, now I have reached now pure devotional service.
Okay.
So
sorry to interrupt.
Good. So by the time you can bring 1:18:32. So by the time the Jivan Prabhu is...
When you are saying that fake it until you make it, right? So how much faking is required? How much faking is not required? Give with an example.
Yeah. So we see that in Shringi's lifestyle only. See, he developed the skills, which was good. But that skills, actually, in one sense, he couldn't develop the qualities fully. And without developing the qualities, he started thinking that he knows now what he should do. So you need constant guidance with other devotees to make sure that you are doing whatever you can do, but that, it is not happening that that is now there is a, what do you call it? In Christianity, you say that either you have two things or you have that hollow, some sort of thing on top of your head. So Radhisha Prabhu yesterday was saying that sometimes we deal so much with new devotees. right? Someone who is coming new. At the same time, we should also deal with that amount of, we should deal at the same level or to some extent with seniors also, because seniors will keep us grounded also. So there should be a good mix. Otherwise, you might start thinking that, oh, they are all giving me so much respect. Maybe, I've become a perfect devotee now. So, and here we see that in this case, we will see that Shringi is around inexperienced boys. Here he's saying that purposely in this verse, the word used is childish boys, inexperienced boys. And because he is only with inexperienced boys, he should actually be with Shamik Rishi also to understand what actually Brahmana qualities are. And in that, he screwed up because he was only playing with childish boys, and he developed that kind of mentality that, sometimes you get some power and then you misuse that power. So that was the situation of Shringi. He had the power, but he didn't know how to use that power, because for using that power, you need proper qualification or proper culture also. So I don't know whether I answered your question.
Yes. So basically, we be with the senior devotees so that we get, we keep ourselves grounded to the reality. That,
Yes.
We are not able to clearly see that, imitate all of their aspects, not just
Yes.
one particular aspect, but at least when you are saying fake it until you make it, in the sense that we should try to emulate the qualities, but we should not think that we have got the qualities.
Yeah, we have already got the qualities. Now things are good like
Yes.
that.
Makes sense. Thank you, Prabhu.
So here in this verse, you see. Oh, but if you also want to add something, please feel free, Rajivan Prabhu.
Yes, it is nice. Thank you.
Tasya putro ti tejasvi viharan balako arbakai. See, balako arbakai. And if you see, who were childish. Ragyagam prapitam tatam shutva tatredam abravit. So we see here, the sage had a son. Shamik Rishi had a son, Shringi. We're talking about entry enthusiasm, who was very powerful, being a Brahmana's son. While he was playing with inexperienced boys, he heard of his father's distress, which was occasioned by the king. Then and there, the boy spoke as follows. So here we see in the purport, due to Maharaj Parikshit's good government, even a boy at tender age who was playing with... So because of Parikshit Maharaj's good government, Shringi was able to develop that qualities. See, if there is no good governance, that means demons will keep on harassing the Brahmanas, right? But because he was having good governance, Shringi was able to develop those skills of Brahmana. Skills, not the qualities. Skills he was able to develop, right? But he was not able to appreciate that. Even of a boy of a tender age, who was playing with other inexperienced boys, could become as powerful as qualified Brahmana. This boy was known as Shringi, and he achieved good training in Brahmacharya by his father so that he could be as powerful as a Brahmana even at that age. But because the age of Kali was seeking an opportunity to spoil the cultural heritage of the four orders of life, the inexperienced boy gave a chance for age of Kali to enter into the field of Vedic culture. Hatred of lower orders of life began from this Brahmana boy under the influence of Kali, and thus cultural life began to dwindle day after day. The first victim of Brahminical injustice was Maharaj Parikshit, and thus the protection given by the king against the onslaught of Kali was slackened. So we see here that he was with inexperienced boys, and we see that because of that, he felt that he can take the law in his own hands. So can we go down? I want to go to certain sections. Yeah, down. We can now read only the translation. Now the Shringi is saying, oh, just look at the sins of rulers. Imagine he's talking about Parikshit Maharaj, who is known as Vishnu Rat. He was protected by Vishnu, like crows and watchdogs at the door. He's comparing Parikshit Maharaj to crows and watchdogs. Perpetrate sins against their masters, contrary to the principle governing servants. Right? So can we go to the purport? 1 minute. I just want to... Naturally, the son of a Brahmana has a good chance to become a Brahmana. Line number 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this one only. Right? So, had a good chance to become a Brahmana by the direction of his qualified father. His father was qualified. He could have got that chance. As a son of a medical practitioner, has a very good chance to become a qualified medical practitioner. So the caste system is quite scientific. The son must take advantage of the father's qualification and thus become Brahmana or medical practitioner, and not otherwise. Without being qualified, one cannot become a Brahmana or medical practitioner. So we see that he was not actually properly qualified. That culture, that character was not, the tolerance was not there. So the qualities were not there of Brahmana, but the skills he had developed. Tolerance, forgiveness, the skills were not there, right? And the downfall of, anyways, we'll go down actually. So can we go down? Yeah. The descendants of the kingly orders are definitely designated as watchdogs, and they must keep themselves at the door. So again, he's comparing it with watchdogs. So can we go down? Now, even stronger is going. After the departure of Lord Shri Krishna, now is involving Krishna also in this. Personality of Godhead and supreme ruler of everyone, these upstarts have flourished. So first watchdogs, and now upstart means eragera, some newbie has come, right? Our protector being gone. Therefore, I myself shall take up the matter and punish them. Right? So now that enthusiasm was there, that he has the skills, but that qualities were not there. Just witness my power. And in that, he is screwed up. So can we go down more? 36. The son of Rishi, his eyes red hot with anger, touched the water of the river Kaushik while speaking to his playmates and discharged the following thunderbolts of words. And from here, Srimad Bhagavatam actually starts. Because of this incident, Parikshit Maharaj then takes the shelter of Shukadeva Goswami. But what mistake Shringi had done was, he was staying with inexperienced boys. He never took shelter of some devotees also. Anyways, one thing was inexperienced boys. So the immaturity was there, right? Another thing was, he had some pride that, okay, I have developed the skill. So how one can move from one stage, which is the stage of Utsamai, to the next stage, which is a little bit more devotion, serious devotion, is by developing maturity through humility. Here, if you see, Shringi was going through immature stage, playing with immature people, right? And that pride was there because he had developed some skills. But little bit of a humility he would have shown, little bit of humility also, he would have saved himself from this, from being on the wrong side of Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? He would have saved himself. And we see that any devotee who comes into Krishna consciousness, maybe he might not be able to take perfect humility, but that little bit humility will come. Oh, I'm not the doer. Actually, Krishna is the doer, right? And anything, if you're trying to encourage someone, you will say, no, Prabhu, I'm not doing so much, I'm just doing a little bit also, because that little bit humility comes automatically, because we understand that I'm not the doer, someone else is the doer. But here, Shringi thought that I can do something. I can take care of this, right? Sometimes we say, don't worry, I'll take care of this, correct? So the entry enthusiasm was there. And how we can go from Utsamai to the next stage is by developing maturity through humility. Developing maturity through humility. So the next stage, Vishnu Chakravarti explains that once you have gone past that Utsamai stage, that exhibition of enthusiasm, which is a false exhibition of enthusiasm, once you have gone past that stage, then you come to the next stage of Ghana Tarala. Ghana means dense, condensed, right? Dense, condensed, Ghana Ghanatvam, shower of rain, Ghana. And Tarala means loose, thin. Tarala also means diluted, right? Like milkman. How it is, sometimes milk is gada dudh diya aaj. And sometimes we say that, oh, so much water is there, right? So condensed milk or diluted milk. So in our life also we see sometimes we have Ghana Tarala. We are sometimes so much able to chant properly. Everything is going good. So especially when we hear Sunday evening class, Sunday feast by Vashikar, we realize, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? Next day morning, 4 o'clock, I'll chant my rounds. And we started doing that. And then by Wednesday, Tarala, suddenly things started again dwindling. And then Sunday again comes, that Ghana comes, that, oh, I should chant my rounds nicely. I should read Srimad Bhagavatam. I should read Bhagavad Gita. I should take association of devotees. That Ghana is there. And suddenly that Tarala is also there. So it's like sine curve. We have, right, ups and down and ups and down. So similarly in devotional service, we see that ups and downs. Sometimes we just read a simple statement of Srila Prabhupada. One should take Krishna consciousness very seriously. And we think, my God, what a statement. One should take Krishna consciousness very seriously. And suddenly there is a very deep, some realization will be shared. And you might think, okay, but material world, no, it will be like that. What can we do? We have to just go through it. So sometimes there is just simple purport also give us so much realization. And sometimes very deep purport also feels like, okay, what to do, right? Doesn't give any realization. So that Ghana and Tarala, that ups and downs are there. In today's psychological world, with mental world, we call it, Vaishnav Chakravarti called it Ghana Tarala, we call it mood swings. Our mood swings, sometimes we say, oh, this guy is doing so nicely, and suddenly what happened, right? So that Ghana Tarala, that kind of things happen. And Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says it is still better than Utsamai. That is the next stage. And we will see one thing is there that through these various stages, you might see that, oh, maybe a little bit this stage I'm in, maybe this stage I'm in. That little bit overlapping will be there, but you might be able to understand that where majorly I'm in which stage, primarily in which stage I am in. And that's why this Madhurya Kadambini and this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it's like a barometer. Like you want to wait, see your weight. Nobody can look at you and say how much it is. You have to go on the weighing scale, right? Unless you go on a weighing scale, you will not come to know exactly how much you are. Similarly, unless we read these scriptures like Madhurya Kadambini and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which actually tells us, this is where you are, beta. This is where you are, right? So unless these things, we go through these things, we understand then, oh, looks like. And also, these Madhurya Kadambini, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is not for others to judge. Oh, this guy looks like, he's that. We can't judge someone. It is for our own understanding where we are and how can we move to the next, basically improve our consciousness. Anyways, coming back to Ghana Tarala. So Vishnu Shakti Thakur says that the next stage is the stage of Ghana and Tarala. Ghana and Tarala. And we see that in the story of Ajamil. Ajamil also, he was a Pakka Brahmana, doing everything properly. But suddenly what happens? This is explained in 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. He goes to the forest, right? He doesn't protect himself. He goes to the forest, he goes to the jungle, and he sees a Shudra and Shudrani. And suddenly he goes back home and he starts thinking about it. In little bit, in middle, that he was calling his son Narayan. And when at the end of the life, again that Ghana comes. So Ghana was there at the start, little bit through Brahmanical practice. But then that Tarala happened when he saw that Shudra and Shudrani. And then again, when he's about to die, right? He sees Vishudutas, he sees first Yamudutas, and then immediately he realizes, what am I doing? And he calls out his son Narayan. He gets so scared. And then he sees Vishuduta. He's both the conversation, and then again he becomes strongly Ghana. I mean, obviously that is a very advanced stage. But that we see that sinusoidal, that ups and downs in the life of a sadhaka, in the life of a struggling devotee. And we see that in the life of to some extent, in the life of Ajamil, right? And then a beautiful verse is mentioned. Mriyamano hare nama grin patro pacharitam ajamilopya gaddhama kimuta shuddhaya grinan. So Mriyamano hare nama grin patro pacharitam. Indirectly, he called out the name of his son Narayan, and still he was able to go to Bhagavad Dham. Just indirectly also saying, obviously he did some practice later on. So where is the doubt that this holy name will not work, right? So Ghana and Tarala is there, but then how we can overcome to go to the next stage of Bhajana Kriya. So the devotees explain that one can go to the next stage of that Ghana Tarala is by boosting our immunity, right? Boosting our immunity through intensity. Basically, we have to intense our sadhana. So that, and we have to see things which brings us down, brings us to Tarala level. Like in case of Ajamil, if he would have known, in jungle, these risks are there. So better he would have not even, gone to that jungle only. Correct? So we have to avoid those situations, boost our immunity through intensity, increase our, somehow, obviously when I'm saying all this, I'm myself struggling, but whatever I'm hearing from the devotees, I thought I will share. So we have to increase our ghana and basically increase our intensity. And that will help us to boost our immunity. So boost our immunity through intensity. There's a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. It says, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Tivrena bhakti, tivra, our bhakti, we have to make our bhakti tivra, which is intensity. We have to do the bhakti with intensity. So the next stage, which is the current stage we are talking about, is Ghana Tarala. And how we can go past that stage is by boosting our immunity through intensity. So the first we discussed was Utsamai, entry enthusiasm or enthusiasm with exhibition. And how we can pass that stage is by showing some level of maturity through humility. And the second stage, we are talking about Ghana Tarala. How we can pass that stage is by boosting our immunity, reducing our Tarala, boosting our immunity, boosting our Ghana through intensity. So first was developing maturity through humility. Second is boosting our immunity through intensity. So the next stage, Vishwan Chakravarti Thakur, he says the next stage in the life of a sadhaka, once he has gone through the stage of Ganatarala, Utsamai Ganatarala, the next stage, the devotee might come to the stage of Vyuda Vikalpa. Vyuda Vikalpa means one has too many options to deal with. He's thinking too many things. Like it happens in the life of sadhaka. He's in a grahastha ashram, he might say, you know, if I would have taken a brahmachari ashram, life would have been so much better. So much kich, this, that of grahastha ashram. Or maybe I would have taken a renunciate ashram. And a renunciate would think, oh, 1 + 1 = 11. See, these grahas are doing so nicely. Maybe I should have taken. So basically the point is, one is continuously thinking of some easy paths. If I would have done this, life would have been so much better. Right? It is said that grass is always green on the other side of the road. Right? And then one devotee said, the grass will be green on the side where you water the most. Right? So if you see, Arjuna also was in that situation. He was confused. What should I do? Kya karege na kare? What should I do? Should I fight, not fight? Should I get killed without unarmed? Should I run away? So much confusion was there. So much questioning were there. And this, when I said, right, should I take renunciation? Should I take grahastha ashram? Or should I retire early? Nowadays, there is a word called fire. Right? Anyways, retire early sort of thing. So what should I do? Maybe I'll increase my devotion, maybe much faster. So many questions keeps coming, right? And then we get confused. What exactly we should do, correct? And Arjuna also was in that situation. He was confused. What should I do? We see that similar thing. I mean, obviously, Raghunath Das Goswami is very, very advanced Vaishnava, but we can just see at our level what we can understand through that pastime. It is in, Prabhu, can we go to Madhya Leela? 16th chapter, verse number 231. He also thinks that, you know, maybe I should be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I should leave the home and I should run away. And Mahaprabhu says, hey, wait a minute, man, what are you doing? So he stops him. So what he does is he takes instructions. He gets some clarity from authority. Right? So Ashraya Madhav Prabhu, can we go to 16th chapter, Madhya Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita, 237 or 231? Sorry, 231. Can we go to that section?
Oh, 231, you said.
231, 16, 231, Madhya Leela. Basically, this is a story of Raghunath Das Goswami, who is saying that I want to run. I want to go with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? I'm happy there. So, and Arjuna also says, see, fifth reason that he gives for not fighting is indecision. Indecision means not able to make a decision what I should do. Right? And that is Vyuda Vikalpa. Obviously, again, Arjuna, Raghunath Das Goswami, these are all very advanced Vaishnavas. We can understand things at various levels. So Vyuda Vikalpa is having too many options and we are confused. What should I do? Right? And then we see that
which chapter, Prabhu? 16?
16, Madhya Leela, 231, Chaitanya Charitamrita.
231.
Yeah, 16th chapter.
Yeah.
Or you can go to Madhya Leela, we can find together. Maybe it might be something else then. If you go to 16th chapter, Madhya Leela, and you can...
this 16th chapter.
Yeah, 231.
Oh, 231.
Yeah. Yeah, we can go to advanced view, Prabhu. So then we don't have to click on next. We'll be reading till 238. We'll skip the verse because of the lack of time. When Raghunath Das learned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has arrived to Shantipur, he submitted a request to his father. Okay. I mean, he submitted a request. Raghunath asked his father, please give me permission to go to see the lotus feet of the Lord. If you do not, my life will not remain within the body. So obviously his father says, okay, go. Hearing this request, Raghunath's fathers agreed. Giving him many servants and materials, the father sent him to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, requesting him to return soon. And then for 7 days, Raghunath Das associated with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Shantipur. During those days and nights, he had the following thoughts. Okay, now Raghunath Das thought, how shall I be able to get free from the hands of the watchman? Because everyone came, right, so that he can come back also. How shall I be able to go with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Nilachal? Right now he's thinking, maybe I should just now go away only. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was omniscient, right? He could understand Raghunath Das's mind. Right? So as a teacher, he understood the heart of the disciple. The Lord therefore instructed him with the following reassuring words. This one we will read the verse. Sirahaya ghare yao naha vatul krame krame paya loka bhava sindhu kul. So he's saying, be patient and return home. Don't be a crazy fellow. By and by, you will be able to cross the ocean of material existence. Right? So we see that here. There's a verse of, we'll skip that because of the lack of time. We'll go to the next year. This one also will read. So he's saying, Markata Vairagya. Markata Vairagya nakara loka dekha yatha yogya vishaya bhunja anasakta hai. You should not make yourself a show bottle devotee and become a false renunciate. The time being, enjoy the material world in a befitting way and do not become attached to it. Right? So here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying, talking about Markata Vairagya, monkey-like renunciation, that okay, should I renounce, or maybe should I stay here, or should I do this? So basically one has many doubts, right? Many doubts are there. One is confused at what he should do. Here actually there's a very nice section, because basically what is, these are doubts. Doubts means, oh, should I do this or should I do that? What should I do? Right? There are doubts. Srila Prabhupada in a conversation, he says, doubt is good provided if you make progress. We can have doubts, but that doubt should lead to some progress. Arjuna had doubt whether what he should do, whether he should fight, not fight, right? But that doubt created some progress. They led to some wisdom. So Srila Prabhupada is saying in a room conversation, doubt is good provided if you make progress, but if you stick to the own principle that I will ask, but I will do what I want to do. But if you stick to your own principle, that is not good. When there is doubt, then you go to a person who can mitigate your doubt and explain. But if you stick to your own understanding tradition, then the doubt is not very beneficial. Right? That is not very. And here also you see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was able to understand the heart of Raghunath Das Goswami. And then he is saying that no, you don't do this, you do this. Right? And another room conversation, Prabhupada is saying, therefore, when we are in doubts, therefore we have to refer to the authority. Just like when you are diseased, so you go to the physician. What is the cause of this trouble? Then he says, similarly, when you are in doubts, you have to approach an authority to clear the doubts. Otherwise, you will remain in doubts, ignorance. Yes, therefore, our Vedic injunction is tadvidi, tad vigyartham sa gurum eva bikachet. Tad vigyartham, in order to clear the doubt, to be in perfect knowledge, one must approach the authorized bona fide spiritual master. So he's saying we should ask some authority. And that is what the next solution for this stage of Vyuda Vikalpa is. Get clarity from authority. You need to get the clarity from authority. In this case, Arjuna is getting clarity from Krishna. And Raghunath Das Goswami is getting clarity from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? We need to get some clarity from authority. And that's when we can move from Vyuda Vikalpa stage to the next stage. That constant battle between what should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? And now, what kind of authority? Can I ask anyone? I remember once, I told this story before. I was in JP Morgan when I was working in India. And once I was working at 2 a.m., I was really tired. And then I asked my authority, so-called authority. He was my senior in terms of years of experience in the company. I had 1.5 years, and that guy had 7-8 years of experience. I asked him, I'm really frustrated, tired. What should I do? He said, let's go to nearby bar and let's drink a little bit and you will be fine. So any authority can we go? No. We can go to certain authority only. And scriptures explain there are four kinds of authority or 4 types of teachers. Right? So the first teacher or guru is known as Path Pradaksha Guru. One who shows us the direction, shows us the way. Path Pradaksha Guru. You can also think of it as introducing spiritual master. One who introduces us to spiritual life. And in our life also, we would have some person who would have introduced us to spiritual life. Correct? Maybe through books, right? Or maybe just through some relative only would have said that, okay, maybe that. In this case, we see the story of Suniti, right? Suniti said that Suniti was not had the strong heart of practicing Krishna consciousness, but she said that if you want to get something, then you should go to Vishnu, right? So that Path Pradesh Guru, Krishna says in in one of the Srimad Bhagavatam, in one of the verses, Srimad Bhagavatam explains that Suniti was a Pathadaksha Guru of Dhruv Maharaj, right? So, and similarly, we see Bilvamangal Thakur. Chintamani was the Pathadaksha Guru of Bilvamangal Thakur. When Bilvamangal Thakur went to Chintamani for some other reasons, Chintamani says that amount of attraction you have for me, if you were to show that attraction for Krishna, you would have gone a long way, right? So, Bilvamangal Thakur shows that gratitude to Chintamani. And similarly, we see Srila Prabhupada also. His friend tells that let's go to Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. He's a great person. Maybe if I know you might not be so interested in practicing Krishna consciousness, but maybe why don't you just meet him, right? So he showed him the way, showed him the path. So this path the Guru, introducing spiritual master. The second type of spiritual master is Shiksha Guru, one who instructing you in spiritual life. It's known as you can think of instructing spiritual master. And Narad Muni was more like instructing spiritual master, who instructed Dhruv Maharaj, right? He instructed Dhruv Maharaj. So, instructing spiritual master or Shiksha Guru. The third type of Guru is Diksha Guru, or you can think of it as initiating spiritual master, one who initiates you. So, like that, there are three types of external spiritual masters. And the fourth is internal spiritual master, or you can think of it as Chaitya Guru. And obviously, Shweta Rama is saying there can be overlapping. Obviously, we can have a Shiksha Guru also becoming our Diksha Guru, or Diksha Guru only introduce us to Krishna consciousness. We never know. Obviously, there can be overlap, but at a Shastric level, it is explained that there are three kinds of gurus. You can remember it as 4I: introducing spiritual master, instructing spiritual master, initiating spiritual master, and internal spiritual master. Right? Internal spiritual master. So we are at 8:11. I wanted to read a section. Maybe we will go to the section. So can we go to 4:12:32? 4:12:32. Bhagavatam. We'll just read one 4:12. No. Only one verse we'll read from there. 4:12:32. Yeah, we'll go down to the more down. So here is a section. Wait, thank you. Here is a section where Dhruva was going back to spiritual world, and he suddenly realizes, Padadasha Guru, my mother actually told me to go to the forest. That's how I was able to go. So he was remembering his mother. And the purport, Sri Prabhupada is saying, Dhruva had a feeling of obligation to his mother, Suniti. It was Suniti who had given him the clue which had now enabled him to personally carried to the Vaikuntha planet by associates of Lord Vishnu. He now remembered her and wanted to take her with him. Actually, Dhruv Maharaj's mother, Suniti, was his Path-Pradashak Guru. Right? Path-Pradashak Guru means the Guru or the spiritual master who shows the way. Shiksha Guru, who knows the way. Who knows the way, basically gives the knowledge. And initiating Guru, who goes the way. Basically, he's practicing also. Such a Guru is sometimes called Shiksha Guru. Now, although Narad Muni was his Diksha Guru, obviously he also instructed what he should do. Suniti, his mother, was the first who gave him instruction on how to achieve the favor of Supreme Personality of God. Right? So this is the duty of Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, to instruct the disciple in the right way. So there are these are three kinds. And in verse number 11:29:6, Prabhu, 11:29:6, that is the fourth Guru which is mentioned in this section, 11:29:6. Yeah, we can go to the, we don't have time today. Yeah. So in translation, oh my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you appear in two features, right? Two features to Krishna. Externally as the Acharya, which is Padadasha Guru or Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru. And internally as Super Soul, which is Chaitya Guru or internal Guru, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him to how to come to you. So the third stage is Vyuda Vikalpa, and one can overcome that Vyuda Vikalpa and move to the next stage by getting clarity from authority. Right? By getting clarity from authority. And then the next stage, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying, he's saying the next stage, okay, now your doubts are cleared. Now you don't have that continuous back and forth about what you should do. The next stage is Vishaya Sangha. Now you have fixed up. The first three is very external. Now, next three is very internal stage. So at Vishay Sangar is like you're battling with the sense objects. You're telling your mind, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to get into sense objects. I'm happy with the spiritual life. I want to practice spiritual life. But somehow we still end up looking into YouTube and spending our time, maybe for Instagram, maybe Facebook. So Vishay Sangar is a stage where you're trying to battle. Sangar means of battle, and Vishay means sense objects. So at Vishay Sangar stage, you're basically telling that I don't want to get into this enjoying of the sense objects, but somehow we are still ending up getting into the sense objects. So we are at that battle. And what is the difference between Ghanatarala and Vishay Sangar is, in Ghanatarala, you are okay with going up and down, going up and down. It's okay. But in Vishay Sangar, you have that guilt that, no, I should not do this. What am I doing? Why am I wasting my time? And you realize that, right? When you do YouTube after 30, 40 minutes, you might say, what did I do? I spent my time, I wasted my time. So we feel that regret, that guilt. And that is Vishay Sangara stage. Where we feel that, oh, why did I waste my time? I shouldn't have wasted my time. Our senses are so strong, right? That we somehow, even if we don't want, we end up there. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful section where Srimad Bhagavatam explaining that how there are 5 animals and how they get succumbed to through their senses to the sense objects. There is a verse in Shastra that explains Kuranga Matanga Patanga Bringa Mina Hata Pancha Bhireva Pancha Eka Pramadi Sakatham Nahanyate Yasevate Pancha Bhiheva Pancha. So we see that deer, right? Kuranga, deer, he hears some nice music and he starts going, and it is actually a hunter is trying to hunt him, and then he gets succumbed to death. Why? Because of his senses, of the sense object to trying to hear, right? Then Matanga is the moth, right? Matanga, the elephant. Elephant is trying to have urges of the genitals by he's trying to get to the she elephant. The hunter is trying to put the she elephant. Below that there is a big sort of a gutter or something, and he tries to go to the she elephant. He elephant goes to she elephant and drowns into that hole. So that sense object, right? So Kuranga, Matanga, Patanga. Patanga means moth. Moth is seeing that fire and he sees, oh, such a nice thing. He's seeing it and he feels like, oh, so much sunshine, so much light, and he gets into it and he gets killed. So Kuranga, Matanga, Patanga, Bringa. Bringa means a bee, right? Bee goes to flower and is trying to, the nose is to smell, right? And then by the time he's trying to not come out of that flower only, and the flower closes at the night, and next day he's dead or she is dead. So bee gets killed because of the nose. And similarly, Bringa, and then finally we have fish, Meena, and Meena gets killed. How? By trying to go up the wave of the, he has all the food down, but still when that hunter or that fisherman is trying to put some bait, and he, because of the tongue, that sense object of the tongue, he gets killed or she gets killed. So the verse is saying that these 5 animals are showing one sense, succumbing to one sense object, but human being is succumbing to all those sense objects. Imagine what will happen to the human being, right? So Vishay Sangha, there is constant battle with the senses, that what should I do? But what is the solution now to go to the next stage? So we are at the stage of Vishay Sangha, where we are dealing with the sense objects. We want to curb that sense objects, and how we can go over it is by hearing about others' purity, hearing how others get over that situation. Like if you see the story of Narad Muni explains that how he was the son of a maid servant. He was a Gandharva before, a maid servant, and how he came to Krishna consciousness. When he heard that how he came to Krishna consciousness, how he overcome that struggle. When he hears about his mother, he's died, he realizes that, okay, this is the best time. I should now take up Krishna consciousness, right? So when we hear about others' purity, it helps us to advance that stage of Vishay Sangha. And it happens when we hear inspiring stories, right? There is a story where when first time Srila Prabhupada wrote the 4th volume, and 4th volume came, and everybody was reading the story of Dhruv Maharaj, and everybody felt, my God, Dhruv Maharaj, what a renunciate, what an austerity. And everybody was trying to do, Srila Prabhupada disciples, they were trying to do some austerity, following the footsteps of Dhruv Maharaj. So basically, you get inspired. You hear about others' purity, right? So one can overcome that the stage of Vishay Sangar by hearing others' purity. We have now 10 minutes only, so I'll go a little fast, but we'll quickly quickly revise what we read is, first we spoke about Utsahamai. Utsahamai stage is enthusiasm, showing of exhibition of enthusiasm, and how we can go past that stage is by developing maturity through humility. Second stage is Ghana Tarala, where there is sinusoidal. We are sometimes intense Krishna consciousness, sometimes Tarala, diluted, sometimes up, sometimes down. And that is Ghana Tarala, condensed and diluted, thick and thin, ups and downs. And how we can go past that is by boosting our immunity through intensity, through Tivra Bhakti, Third is Vyuda Vikalpa, where we are confused. What should we do? Kya kare ki na kare? How should we? Indecision. Arjuna also was in such a situation. How we can go past that is getting clarity from authority. And fourth, we discussed just now, Vishaya Sangar, which is battling with the sense objects. How we can go past that stage is by hearing about others' purity, inspiring stories, something that inspires us to, okay, I will also not do, they are also not doing. Such a, how they moved from riches to rags to riches. In material world, say rags to riches. The stories, which stories inspire us the most? Rags to riches. Someone who has been struggling very badly and then suddenly reaches, right? And seeing that story, how they move from rags to riches, also inspires us. Okay, let's see, this guy did, maybe I can also, right? And always you see in motivational speakers, they'll always talk about rags to riches. Someone who has been struggling and suddenly they were able to go past that struggle, right? And that gives us inspiration. So similarly, the stage of Vishaya Sangar, when we hear about others' purity. Okay, so now the next stage after Vishaya Sangar is Niyamakshama. Niyamakshama means now we don't have that nature of enjoying the sense object, but we are not able to keep up with our vows. Niyama means vows, and Akshama means not able to follow our vows. Now we want to chant our rounds, we want to take association, we want to read Srimad Bhagavatam, but somehow or the other, we are not able to do it. We don't, maybe not able to experience the taste, we are not able to do it. So that is known as Niyamakshama stage, where we feel that we are not able to follow it properly. So how we can go past that stage of Niyamakshama is by strengthening our connectivity. Strengthening our connectivity means, let's say japa, we are not able to do focus japa, we get more people, and we see that when we have devotees together, we can do much more better japa. Maybe reading, when we read with someone else, we can read much in a better way, because we hear about their enthusiasm and their realization, their reflections, and that helps us to also read. Otherwise, we might, someday we will read and sometimes we'll say, oh, today we'll skip, and then skip, that becomes skip only, right? So, but when we do in association with other devotees, sadhu sangha, then it helps us to follow our vows, right? And that is why we have this concept of sadhana sheet, right? We share our sadhana sheet with someone, because then it gives credit. We have some. We feel like, okay, we are, we have to answer someone, right? So basically, Niyamakshama stage can be overcome by strengthening our connectivity, doing things with others that helps us to go past this stage of Niyamakshama. And finally, the last stage is sixth stage that Vishwanath Thakur talks about is Taranga Rangini. Taranga Rangini means you have passed the stage of Niyamakshama also, you are able to follow your vows, everything nicely. But now you are at a stage where the Bhakti Lata Bij is there. But along with that, there are weeds also, weeds of Pratishtha, with weeds of pride. Little bit pride is there, little bit Pratishtha, feel of, looks like that Pratishtha is there, that weeds. So along with that, at a subtle level, this is very, very subtle. This is not something that you can see very easily. Like you're not able to follow your vows, it is very easy to see, right? Not able, getting succumbed to sense of it, very easy to see. But Taranga Rangini is very, very difficult. It is like watering the, we might be thinking we are doing devotional service, but actually we might ending up watering the weeds. And basically devotees explain that we can go over that past, that stage of Taranga Rangini. Taranga Rangini means we are happy enjoying the waves of ocean. Instead of going deeper in the spiritual life, we are happy that waves are coming. We are happy with these waves. We are, no such good waves are coming. Maybe this is what devotional life is all about. But actually we have to go deeper. So Taranga Rangini. That's what Vishwanath Thakur is saying, Taranga Rangini stage. And how we can go past that stage, overcome that that plant pratishtha sort of thing, is by becoming honesty, right? Having that honesty, follow honesty. Basically, we should be honest to ourselves why we are doing what we are doing, right? Otherwise, we might just feel that, oh, this is what it is. But unless we don't understand, okay, why am I doing? I want to actually achieve Krishna at the end. I want to achieve the lotus feet of Krishna. Then we understand, oh, these things what are coming is actually distractions. These are not Krishna consciousness. This is distraction. So when we become honest, and it is difficult, we might think, oh, follow honesty, it is so easy. But actually, it is very difficult to be honest to ourselves also. Varjvihari Prabhu, he tells in one of the class that one of the difficult problems, the difficulties that devotees face is actually becoming honest to ourselves. We are being dishonest to others, and also we are sort of dishonest to others also to some extent. And obviously, when I say we, I'm talking about myself more. I'm myself struggling at various stages. But when we become honest, we say that, okay, why am I doing what am I doing? Why I'm practicing Krishna consciousness? Like Arjuna is asking, why we are fighting? And then when he understands why am I fighting, his doubts gets clear completely. So follow their honesty, and that way we will not develop those weeds. We can read a little bit about weeds. So can we go to 19th? 19th chapter, Madhya Leela, verse number 151. We will just read the translations. We are 8:25. The last 3-4 I just rushed through. Madhya Leela, 19th chapter, 151. We'll go to 151 and we'll read till 3-4 till 158. I want to read. So we'll just read the translation. Go into advanced version. Yeah. Thank you. So, okay. Can we go to advanced version? We'll read more verses from this. And then we can stop. 151. So this talks about Bhakti Lata Beach, creeper of devotional service, at the same time, weeds also. According to their karma, all living entities are wandering. Brahmanda, Brahmite, Korna, Bhagyavana, Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Bhai, Bhakti Lata Beach. So in this verse, they're talking about that by some mercy, you got the Bhakti Lata Beach. You got the seed of devotional service. Okay. So we can go to the next verse, 152. Here he's saying when a person receives Mali Haya Kare Se Bija Aropan. So be a gardener now. When a person receives the seed of devotional service, he should take care of it by becoming a gardener and sowing the seed in his heart. Yasharu says that, be a gardener. We waters the seed gradually by process of Shravan and Kirtan, hearing and chanting, the seed will begin to sprout. Correct? So can we go to the next 153? As one waters the Bhakti Lata Beach, the seed sprouts and the creeper gradually grows to the point where it penetrates the walls of the universe and goes beyond the Virja river, lying between the spiritual world and the material world. It attains Brahman effulgence, and penetrating through that stratum, it reaches the spiritual sky and spiritual planet Golok Vrindavan. Being situated in one's heart and being watered by Shravan Kirtan, the Bhakti creeper grows more and more. In this way, it attains the shelter of desired tree of lotus feet of Krishna. Right? This is good because there is no weeds yet. Who is eternally situated in the planet known as Golok Vrindavan in the topmost region of spiritual sky. So I'm going a little fast. So we can go now 158. So this talks about Bhakti Lata Beach. Sometimes unwanted creepers, such as creepers or desires for the material enjoyment and liberation for the material world, grow along with the creeper of devotional service. Right? So pratishtha, all those things also come sometimes. The varieties of such unwanted creepers are unlimited. So here we see that that we have reached the Taranga Rangini, but now we are not going deeper. We are happy just going on the top of the waves, right? And how we can go past that stage is by following honesty. So the first stage is Utsamai, entry enthusiasm. How we can pass that stage is develop maturity through humility. Second is Ghana Tarala, which is ups and downs, thick and thin. How we can go through that is boost immunity through intensity. Third is Vyuda Vikalpa, right? Basically, we are confused with various options. And how we can guess past the stages, get clarity from authority. Fourth is Vishay Sangar. We are battling with the sense objects. How we can go past that stage is by hearing about others' purity, inspiring stories, rags to riches. Fifth stage is Niyamakshama, which is we are dealing now with the mind. We are not able to attract, we are not getting attracted to Krishna, but that can happen by strengthening our connectivity, doing things in group chanting, group reading. And finally, sixth stage, which is Tarang Rangini, is by following honesty. We should be honest to ourselves. Okay, really, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I doing? There is a very beautiful story of Lala Babu temple, how Lala Babu actually came into Krishna consciousness. Lala Babu was a great, he was a very big businessman. And once he was just walking by and he saw a lady, a dhobini, basically a person who used to wash clothes. She was telling to other lady that, see, the vasana is getting removed very easily. And vasana has multiple meanings. In Bengali, vasana also means color. So she was basically saying, and we see that in Bhagavad Gita, Vasanam si jirnani atha vyaya, dress, Vasanam si jirnani. So she was saying that, see, this vasana is getting removed so fast. Basically, he was saying the color of the cloth is going so fast. So, and Lala Babu thought that is basically indirectly telling to me that my desires, vasana also means desires also going very fast. But then he was saying, no, but my desires are not going fast. Then he moved ahead and he saw one boatman saying that, oh, let's get into the boat quickly. We want to cross over this river. And then Lala Babu heard that and he said, my God, this guy has so much spiritual consciousness. He wants to cross over the river of material ocean and go to the spiritual. So Lala Babu was hearing all this and he was thinking, maybe I should take shelter. I have to go to Vrindavan. He went to Vrindavan and he takes the shelter of a great devotee. And he says, I want to take shelter of you. And the great devotee says, I cannot give shelter because you still have material attachments. And he was thinking, what material attachments? Give up everything. I have taken everything. I've given up everything. And then he starts begging in Vrindavan, thinking that one day that spiritual master will give me the benediction, give me the mercy and initiate me. Every time, weekly, he used to go there, but somehow the spiritual master was not giving him the initiation. Finally, he realized that there was his competitor, businessman, when he was in material life, his competitor was there. He was going to beg to everyone, but not to his competitor somehow. He felt that attachment is there of that pratishta, that, he should not come to know, I should not beg from him at least. And finally, he went to that competitor, that rivalry that he had during his material life. So basically, his abhiman, which was there, that false ego, which was there, he crushed it and went there to ask for madhukari. And when the spiritual master comes to that Lala Babu has gone to that rival businessman to get from some madhukari, he realizes that now he has given up his material attachment at subtle level also. And then he says, now he'll initiate. So basically, sometimes we might take up spiritual life, but still that subtleness will be there. Obviously, I'm talking about myself more. Pran Pratishtha. And the Vishnu Thakur says one can go past that by go past that stage as well. So we'll stop here. Sorry, I took 2 more minutes. If anyone wants to share anything, sorry, I went really fast. But I really wanted to share this because when I was hearing Madhurya Kadambini, I liked it so much, the entire 6 stages. And we can see that we are at certain stage. It might be a mix of stages. It might be some stages which are, very, very, more dense compared to other stages. Just helps us where we are, how can we move ahead. So I just thought I will share this based on the chapter 1 where Arjuna is also indecision, Vyuda Vikalpa at one stage. So yeah, I spoke a lot. If anyone wants to share anything, otherwise you can.
Thank you, Prabhu. I think Kautukarna Prabhu wants to share his realization.
Yes,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu, for taking us through so many examples. I heard this class earlier, but now I have the examples also to connect. So thank you so much for giving us this step, how to go to the next stage. So that was very nice. And I like the I power to 4, initiating spiritual. No, what is that? First one was instructing, initiating, and then internal spiritual. Thank you, Guru. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So, Prabhu, in the Zoom's chat, there are 2 questions actually.
So
One
first we discussed by Rajivan Prabhu.
Yeah, he's asking, if a soft heart can lead to a weak heart, does that mean we can become hard-hearted when we are strong-hearted?
So different devotees have different understanding in the sense of once I was asking a devotee whether hard-hearted and strong-hearted is same. A devotee said there's not much difference. But how I see it is hard-hearted is more like it can make us, sometimes hard-hearted can take us actually away from Krishna. It's like we may become fanatical. And that is actually one of the you can see it's also one kind of utsamai, where we are judging others, we become fanatical. That is hard-heartedness. And there should be some balance. So strong-heartedness means you are able to discriminate what is right and wrong. And hard-heartedness, I mean, again, everybody has different understanding towards the same word. Like if you see love can be explained in Sanskrit in many, many ways. Anubhav, bhav, but in English, you cannot explain in that many ways. So similarly, hard-hearted also can have many ways. For me, hard-hearted means it's more like little fanatical. And my way is the highway. Like for example, Ashwatthama, he was just, I should do this. He was so hard-hearted. He didn't even realize that these are innocent people. They have not done anything, but still he killed them. But strong-hearted means you are strong in your sadhana. You are able to discriminate what is right and wrong.
Like Daksha Maharaj, he did to his daughter Sati, like that, hard-hearted.
Yeah. Not realizing that at the end, it's his daughter, right? So one should have a little bit soft-heartedness also. Yeah, that's a good example.
So one Mataji, he has shared a question. Can we be in overlapping phases at any given time? I find throwing myself between stage 1 and stage 4.
Yeah. So that will be there, but we can see where it is more. We can see that some stage will be more
Prominent.
we might be in than other stages, and then we can see how we can pass that stage or something. But yes, if you see in Adho Shraddha Tata Sadhu also, you get the faith, you take Sadhu Sangha. From Sadhu Sangha, you get more faith. Then from that more faith, you take more Sadhu Sangha. So that interconnection is there. The interconnection will be there. And similarly, in this stage also, you will see that a little bit overlap will be there. But you might see that some stage you are more in that compared to other stages.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. That this would have been great if you had put it in a slide. This whole
actually I wanted to put
just one slide.
Yeah, somehow I didn't. I felt that I didn't get the enough time.
But this is a wonderful lecture. Wonderful lecture. Actually, this is very so precise, right? Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur is so precise.
Yeah. And it was very well fitting with 1.46.
1.46.
So this is how we can basically is talking about unsteady emotion to steady devotion. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Prabhu.
Thank you. Okay, we'll stop here. Pancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyaya vacha titanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Chaitanya Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you again for listening. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We'll now close the session, dear devotees.